The story of the Jagannath temple in Puri is not just about bricks and stone. It is a tale that begins with a king and a divine dream. King Indradyumna, a great ruler of the Malwa kingdom, was a devout follower of Vishnu. He longed to see the supreme deity in his most perfect form. One night, a vision came to him. It spoke of a sacred log, known as the Daru Brahma, that would wash ashore on the coast of Puri. This log was no ordinary piece of wood. It held the very essence of the divine. The king was instructed to find this log and from it carve the images of the deities. This was a command he could not ignore. It was the start of a magnificent spiritual journey. Following the divine instructions, King Indradyumna set out on his quest. He sent his trusted priests and ministers in all directions to find this sacred location. After much searching, they finally found the holy site in Puri, on the eastern coast of India. The king arrived and performed great rituals to receive the sacred log. As prophesied, a massive fragrant log appeared, floating on the waves of the sea. It was a momentous occasion. The king knew he was witnessing a miracle. This was the material form of the Lord himself, and he had been chosen to build a home for it. His heart was full of devotion and a sense of great purpose. Now came the challenge of carving the deities. Many skilled artisans tried, but their tools would simply break against the divine wood. The king grew worried. Then, an old mysterious carpenter appeared. He introduced himself as Ananta Maharana, but many believe he was Vishwakarma, the divine architect, in disguise. He agreed to carve the idols on one condition. He must work in absolute secrecy inside a locked temple for 21 days. No one, not even the king, was to open the door before the time was up. The king, desperate and full of faith, readily agreed to this strange but firm condition. The days passed slowly. From inside the locked room, the sounds of carving could be heard. But after 14 days, a deep silence fell. The king's wife, Queen Gundicha, grew anxious. She feared the old carpenter might have passed away from hunger and exhaustion. Persuaded by the queen and his own mounting worry, King Indradyumna made a fateful decision. He ordered the doors to be opened. Inside, they found no carpenter. Instead, there stood the three magnificent yet incomplete forms of Lord Jagannath, his brother Balabhadra, and their sister Subhadra. The king was heartbroken, but a divine voice consoled him, declaring that this was the Lord's will. The deities were meant to be worshipped in this very form forever. The first temple built by King Indradyumna is lost to the sands of time. The magnificent structure we see today has a history of its own. It was constructed much later, in the 12th century. The great king Anantavarman Chodaganga Deva of the Eastern Ganga dynasty began this colossal project. It was a massive undertaking. He wanted to build a temple that would stand as a testament to his devotion. This temple was not just a place of worship. It became the spiritual heart of the entire region. The king envisioned it as a center of culture, learning, and community life, a place where heaven and earth could meet. His dream was grand, and the work began with immense zeal. The construction of the temple was a monumental task that spanned generations. After King Chodaganga Deva, his successor, King Anangabhima Deva III, took up the work. He is credited with completing the temple and formally consecrating the deities within its walls around the year 1230. He declared himself to be a deputy of Lord Jagannath, establishing a tradition where the king was merely a servant of the god. This act solidified the temple's importance. It became the symbol of Odia identity and sovereignty. The temple complex, with its towering main spire, or vimana, soaring over 200 feet into the sky, dominated the landscape and the hearts of the people. Over the centuries, the Jagannath temple flourished under the patronage of various kings and dynasties. It became incredibly wealthy, not just spiritually, but also materially. Devotees from every corner of India flocked to Puri, offering gold, jewels, and land. The temple's rituals became more elaborate. The daily services, the special festivals, and the grandest of them all, the Rath Yatra, became legendary. The Rath Yatra, or the Chariot Festival, where the deities traveled to the Gundicha temple on massive, ornate chariots, drew millions. The temple was a bustling hub of activity, a beacon of Sanatana Dharma that shone brightly across the subcontinent. The temple's influence extended far beyond religious matters. It was a major economic powerhouse. The temple administration, known as the Chatisa Niyoga, comprised 36 different categories of sevayats or servitors. These families had hereditary duties, from cooking the sacred Mahaprasad in the world's largest kitchen to reciting scriptures and guarding the temple's treasures. This intricate system ensured the smooth functioning of the temple and supported a vast community. The temple was a city within a city, a self-sustaining spiritual ecosystem that had woven itself into the very fabric of Odia life, culture, and history. It was a golden age of peace and prosperity. This era of peace was not destined to last forever. The temple's fame and immense wealth made it a tempting target for invaders. The first major blow came in 1568. It was a dark time for Odisha. A ruthless Afghan general from Bengal named Suleiman Khan Karani sent his son Bayazid and the infamous commander Kalapahad to conquer the region. Kalapahad, a convert to Islam, was known for his fierce iconoclasm and hatred for Hindu idols. He marched into Puri with a single destructive aim: to demolish the Jagannath temple and erase its existence. The priests and the people of Puri were filled with terror. Their sacred world was about to be shattered. Kalapahad's attack was brutal and relentless. His army stormed the temple complex, plundering its vast treasures. They vandalized the sacred structures, breaking sculptures and defiling holy spaces. But their main goal was to capture and destroy the idols of Jagannath, Balabhadra, and Subhadra. The brave priests, in a desperate attempt to save their beloved deities, managed to smuggle the idols out of the temple. They hid them in a secret location near the Chilika lake. Kalapahad, furious at being denied his prize, hunted them down. He seized the wooden idols, carried them to the banks of the Ganga, and set them on fire. It was a moment of profound despair for the devotees. However, the faith of the people was stronger than the fire. According to legend, a devout follower named Bizar Mohanty had followed Kalapahad's army in disguise. As the idols burned, he courageously reached into the flames and retrieved the Brahma Padartha, the sacred core substance hidden within the wooden forms. He secretly carried this divine relic back to his village in Kujanga. For years, the relic was worshipped in secret, away from the prying eyes of the invaders. The temple in Puri stood empty and desolate, a shadow of its former glory. The daily rituals stopped, and a profound silence fell over the holy city. The temple faced numerous other attacks over the next 2 centuries. The Mughals, who took control of the region, also saw the temple as a source of wealth and a symbol of Hindu resistance. From 1607 onwards, governors like Hashim Khan and Ekram Khan launched repeated raids. Each time, the quick-thinking priests had to enact a desperate plan. They would whisk the idols away to hidden sanctuaries in the dense forests or remote islands of Chilika Lake. This dangerous game of hide-and-seek became a recurring theme in the temple's history. The deities were moved more than a dozen times to protect them from desecration, becoming celestial fugitives in their own land. The survival of the temple and its deities is a story of incredible courage and unwavering faith. The priests, or sevayats, were the true guardians of Lord Jagannath. They risked their lives time and again. When Kalapahad attacked, they executed a well-planned escape. When Mughal armies marched on Puri, a network of spies would alert the temple authorities, giving them just enough time to move the idols. This act of moving the deities, known as the Pahandi, was a sacred and dangerous duty. They carried the heavy wooden forms through treacherous terrain, crossing rivers and jungles, all while being pursued by enemy soldiers. Their dedication ensured that the spiritual heart of the temple was never captured or destroyed. After the dark period following Kalapahad's desecration, hope was rekindled. King Ramachandra Deva I, the founder of the Boy dynasty, took on the monumental task of restoring the temple. He recovered the sacred relic, the Brahma Padartha, from Bizar Mohanty. He then performed a grand ceremony known as the Nava Kalabara, or New Embodiment. New idols were carved from sacred Naim wood, and the divine relic was ceremoniously transferred into them. In 1575, the king reconsecrated the deities in the temple, and the vibrant rituals began once more. He was hailed as the second Indradyumna for bringing the Lord back to his home. The resilience of the temple was not just about physical restoration, it was about the indomitable spirit of the people. Each time the temple was attacked, the community came together to protect it. The local kings and chieftains provided shelter for the hidden deities. The common people offered their support, keeping the location of the idols a secret, even under threat of death. This collective effort turned the temple from a mere building into a living symbol of Odia identity and resistance. The repeated attempts to destroy it only made the people's bond with Lord Jagannath stronger. Their faith was tested by fire and sword, and it emerged unbroken and more powerful than ever. Today, on the 23rd of June 2025, the Jagannath Temple in Puri stands tall and proud, a beacon of faith for millions. It has weathered centuries of storms and stands as a powerful testament to its own survival. The daily rituals continue uninterrupted. The Grand Kitchen still feeds thousands, and the Rath Yatra attracts a global audience. The temple is not just a historical monument, it is a vibrant, living center of spirituality. It reminds us that physical structures can be damaged, but the faith and devotion that reside within them can be truly indestructible. The story of Jagannath Temple is a timeless lesson in resilience, proving that belief can indeed overcome brutality.